What up, everybody? Welcome to week 10 of the Average Joe's X's and O's podcast. Almost forgot the name of the show for a second. And we got a show for you. We got a lot of shit to talk about because every week this season, and maybe it's like this every season, but we just forget. It's kind of a shit show, man. A lot of teams winning that they shouldn't. I feel like I'm a broken record. Say it every week. And we finally, it's been all year. We've been waiting for it. We're going to have a Bills rant by Nick here at some point because they were one of three particular teams we're going to highlight that kind of just really, really deep-throated a cock over the weekend. So, but before we get to all that, technically I'm the one that lost pick'ems by we were tied going into, what was that, Monday night? I think I picked 38 points, and somehow both those teams very late into the game decided to score points, and I ended up losing. So as of right now, Nick still leads 3. You're what? We're 3 and 5. You got 5 wins. I got 3. I have 2 beers technically that I need to drink here in a couple weeks on that particular episode that I'm allowed to drink. So right now I got a Bud Heavy and an Irish Red. So what do you actually? We'll just get that out of the way right now. What beer is next week?
Oh man, I honestly it's weird that I get to pick something for once in my freaking life.
I was 3 weeks in a row.
In the spirit of I guess in the spirit of Thanksgiving, because we're not quite to Christmas yet, the pumpkin ale, a pumpkin beer of some kind, must be chugged. Whether it's a pumpkin, a warlock, a something, pumpkin something.
Dude, for obviously we're gonna end up doing a Christmas beer at some point, right? When December hits. Is there any way? Because people have to do it.
Probably be in a couple weeks, yeah.
So I'm wondering, maybe do both. But if there's a way you can send me either a 12 dogs or some Christmas ale, that'd be dope. Can that happen?
I could probably make that work.
Because I
have to figure out how
I might just drink one. If I win that week, I might just drink one anyway. So,
right.
But
right. Out of celebration.
We got some weeks there. Got a couple weeks for that one. So 2 beers right now. I've got 3, maybe about a month, maybe 4 weeks, I think, left. I got 3 weeks left. So maybe 4 weeks from now, I'll be chugging all my shit on one particular episode, which means it's going to be an episode of me being drunk, which would be the first time in some months that happened because I'm going to be such a fucking lightweight. So not really looking forward to that, honestly, but it's going to happen. But let's kick off the show with some Between the Tweets. I really need to make a jingle.
Let's go.
I need to make a jingle for it, dude. Need to make a jingle.
If you need me to sing for it, I would volunteer the voice. People might shut the fucking show off immediately, but whatever.
Yeah. All right. I sent you a couple things here. First off, I do this every week because every week it's just getting old at this point. But it's this right here. You see this? Myles Garrett being freaking.
Yeah, that's
like, how do you miss it? It happens all the time, dude. All the time. It's like, it's one thing, okay, let a holding call go. Maybe there's an arm on the outside of the shoulder pad, but come on, dude. This is clear as day. Like, we got NFL. Obviously we're going to get into it. This essentially we're talking about refs here at the next thing I'm going to show you, but it's starting to get to the point where some of these penalties they're calling is taking control over games, and it really makes you wonder, because we talked about this before. There isn't really any. Yeah, they come in, they interview the ref and talk about like calls they made and why they made them and shit, but like nothing really happens with the refs. Like, I don't even know if they're fined. They get new refs every year. It's just it's fucking insane, dude. Like, something's got to happen, and this is one of the things I'm talking about right here. If you guys did not see,
this was crazy.
This was insane. Can we go back? Let's see. I mean, come on. Like, what are you doing? You fucking twerking in his fucking vicinity there, ref?
Yeah.
No.
So the fact that the NFL, like, I watched that, and obviously, like, that little clip there doesn't necessarily give a ton of context to what, transpired beforehand. But he kind of walked towards the Steelers bench. I don't know. You can't hear anything that's said. So did he say
Right.
something? Don't know. But he walks towards the bench, kind of stares at him and then runs back. But like, throw the flag before then. It just makes this look like, as this guy's running back and he gets hip checked by the ref, like, that's,
Right.
if you're going to throw the flag, like, do it when he's over there doing his, whatever. But, this makes it look like, okay, well, maybe it wasn't that bad. And then as he's running by and gets hip checked, it's like, fuck you, like, you're just being I have a feeling that's what it was. But because there were multiple times in that game where roughing the passer penalties weren't called.
Oh, they're beating the shit out of Fields.
Like things like that. And then like TJ Watt sacks Justin Fields. He points at Justin Fields and then does his whatever, does his thing. And it's like, you don't penalize that, but this guy fucking stares at the sideline and runs back what's going on?
Well, and apparently he was on. This guy was on the Steelers.
Cassius March,
and they let him go. So it was kind of one of those things. But that's where this taunting rule is getting ridiculous. Like, a player is being penalized for making a good play, and I mean, I don't know, dude. Nobody gives a fuck about taunting. Like, even as a player, it's like, I understand pushing and fighting or whatever, but you don't. But I mean, when you make a good play, it's it should be celebrated. So who cares? You know what I mean? And the fact, if he just goes to the sideline and just kind of flexes a little bit, doesn't say anything, it's who gives a fuck, dude?
So if you guys get a chance, listen to Ryan Clark, what he said on ESPN about the issue. It was very well stated about, I wake up at 5 a.m. I go to bed at midnight. I'm in the facility, putting all my time and energy to make sure I'm ready to play, studying film, in a very physical, aggressive sport, all just to I'm putting all that time in just to make potentially one game-changing play. And I make that game-changing play, and I'm supposed to be robotic about it after dumping all these hours, all this passion, all this, everything that I'm doing on a daily basis to be ready to play football on Sunday. And I make that one game-changing play that I've invested all this time in, and I'm not allowed to do anything. He's like, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah. And it's like, you don't realize that that's all that goes into it. But fun fact, not to stir the pot on anything, but one of the members of the competition committee that was very adamant about introducing this rule was Mike Tomlin. So the fact that he actually benefited from it in a game is pretty interesting to me as well.
I didn't know that. That is pretty interesting.
Yep. Yeah, he was part of the competition committee that introduced that. So not that it means anything. I feel like there's people that back it, but and then the NFL's explanation on what happened, the officials' explanation on what happened seems to be that they're kind of burying the issue. The officials are always right, regardless of what the fuck happens. We look at where's the accountability. The NFL's always got the officials back. And the unfortunate reality is that every Thursday, Sunday, and Monday, we're going to turn around, despite the fact that the officials are incompetent fucks. We're just going to turn around and watch the games anyway. So here we are.
Yeah, pretty much. It's ridiculous, man. I just thought this was funny because.
Oh, dude, this was hilarious. I was cracking up.
You can hear this, right?
Yep.
The fact he takes the mic.
Chapo.
What the fuck? It's like they would never a regular reporter that's not in the Spanish, I don't think would ever let them grab the mic. But the fact that he gives the mic up and just lets him rant, I think is fucking hilarious. If you
it's awesome, yeah.
Adam Schefter tweeted that if you want to go watch the full video. And then you just sent this, which I thought was interesting. As much as they throw the football, I would not have thought that they've run the ball that many times.
Well, they're a prolific offense, and they can actually do it efficiently, which
Yeah.
I'll get into a little bit here. But it's something that running it only 2 fewer times than Tennessee this year, and everybody thinks, oh well, Derrick Henry's the offense. It's just amazing to me that that Arizona was up there as far as attempts in the run game. They don't have. I mean, with James Conner and Chase Edmonds, and now Benjamin going to be stepping up with the Chase Edmonds injury, it's going to be it's kind of interesting to see how that offense, who everyone's like Kyler Murray, AJ Green, Christian Kirk, we got to play ready for these guys and be ready for their passing attack. How that actually the passing attack and the threat of having a very good passing attack creates light boxes and allows you to take advantage in the run game. So I feel like the Cardinals are seeing a lot of that, and they're able to, take advantage there. So,
well, I tell you what, they looked like fucking all-stars with Colt McCoy at the quarterback and no Hopkins against the 49ers. And I didn't know what to think. Like, if they're able to still win without Hopkins and fucking Colt McCoy behind center, the 49ers must be just fucking awful.
Man, they're doing something right.
Dude, I thought the 49ers couldn't, I knew they had because I watched a couple other games this year and they've all been at home and they've lost them all. And apparently it's not just this year. Their record at home is just fucking dog shit, even from previous years. So when it comes to home field advantage, 49ers do not have it. I wanted to bring this up. I did this poll before last Sunday. It was 18 votes, 50-50 on who would win the game. I went into that game, and I'll probably talk a little bit about it here in a few when we get to some more NFL talk. But 50-50, 18 votes. I didn't think the Browns were going to come out like they did, but like I said, any given Sunday, and I went in with that game with very, very low expectations, and it was nice watching a game with low expectations. So
that was really weird when you flipped the camera over. I was just a floating head there for a second. That was kind of it was kind of creepy.
But I gotta tell you, I don't know if I could call this segment Parlay Bit Me, because your boy won some money, dude.
Finally, bro.
Fucking 810 big ones. Not even from football though. It was a big weekend, like I mentioned on the podcast. Big UFC fight, big boxing fight. I won the majority of my money from boxing. I took Canelo in the 11th round. So I had two separate bets in the 11th round. One was the minute, which I think was the big one. That was $410, and I won like 160, 180 on 11th round finish, and just a general finish, and then a Canelo 11th round finish. So basically 3 bets in the 11th. And let me tell you something, like I kind of forgot because I did it the week before. So a lot of it's fucking luck. I just got lucky. And then I did win UFC as well. I cashed out early. It was the first time I guessed all 5 of the main card right. Would have won again. Everybody that was favorites on the card won. So again, betting UFC, you just got to try and predict those. Same thing with NFL. You got to try and pick the upsets. Those pluses, and it's really hard to do sometimes, man, because sometimes it doesn't happen. So, but the first time I got a full main card right. If you didn't watch the pay-per-view, if you're not a big UFC guy, it was fucking awesome. From the start to the finish. Every fight was great. Can't get no better than that. It was a good time, and I won some money. My NFL bets, I had 2 big 14 team parlays, didn't do so well, and then my afternoon one was looking real good. I forget who I had. I have to look it up, but what fucked me was, I for sure thought after those first 3 games, I took someone by points, I took Green Bay. They was +7. They scored late, which that was looking bad, but they got within it. So that worked for me. And then I think I predicted one upset in that, but then it came down. I just needed the Rams and Pittsburgh to win. Right. And the Rams just totally fucking, I don't know. They just forgot how to play football. I picked them in that game thinking like, okay, I similar to the Browns, like when the Browns running game sucks, I'm like, okay, Tennessee doesn't have Henry, he's out for the season, so this team's going to look a lot different. I don't think they're going to be able to move the football. And I mean, technically Stafford fucked up. I don't know if you watched that game or not. He's in the end zone, probably should just take the safety, ends up throwing it away. Should have been a pick six, wasn't. They end up scoring a touchdown. And then following that right away, he throws a pick six. So 14 points, which was, I think, you know, if it wasn't for those plays that, the Rams might have been able to edge it out, because, it's tight. The Titans didn't really do too much after that, I don't think. So yeah, I mean, I think they beat themselves for sure, but that would have won me an extra, I don't know what it was. So fuck you, Rams, for, not putting me over $1,000 for the weekend. But this week we will take a look at what I've been wanting to do this week, is trying to predict those upsets. So I'm going to do like a 4 or 5 game parlay and I got to look at them, where I pick some underdogs, try to predict those, like this week. Are we going to get another team like the Cowboys choking or your Bills getting beat by Jacksonville fucking 9-6, which is ridiculous. And I'm sure we'll talk about it here. But one of the bets I might do this weekend, it's a good segue into some college talk. We got Purdue playing Ohio State this weekend, and hear me out. You and I are Ohio State fans, and I've told some other people this too. And Ohio State fans, I mean, there's different types of fans for every fan base, right? A lot of people would probably say I'm not a real fan after I tell you this, but I might bet on Purdue to beat Ohio State. And we've been talking about it for a while. Ohio State's struggling this year, I think, still defensively. And I still think we're gonna have the mullet kid playing fuck quarterback next year. I still think Stroud is maybe not the guy. So right now Ohio State's sitting at 21 or 20. Well, the other day when I looked, it was 20.5 favorites at home. But Purdue, man, Purdue is the ranked, or the top 25 killers. They beat Iowa when Iowa was pushed up to 2, and then they beat Michigan State last week? That was last week, I think. They just and then if the Ohio State fans, I don't know if you remember, but like 2 years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, they beat the shit out of us. I forget. I don't know if that was a home game or not. That might have been a home game, but yeah, Purdue it was a late game, and Purdue just absolutely, what they put like 50 something points on us. It was absurd. So if you're a betting man, might be a game to put in your parlay. I think I'm going to do it. So
it seems reasonable with how Purdue is just like anytime they play ranked teams, they all of a sudden like turn into the best team in college football. So
I don't know, man.
It's worth hedge it, but it's definitely worth like a, fuck it, we'll throw in there.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's put a parlay.
What's that? I'm gonna mix it with NFL.
Put a parlay together with Ohio State winning too, but like.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely one of those that's like I would want. I definitely want to have.
I'll if I do that though, I'll do just to make the odds like better. Even though it's risky, is I'll take Ohio State 20.5 at home, which would be fucking stupid. I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I'll probably do a couple there. While we're talking about Ohio State, I might recap the game a little bit. Really, not even more so Ohio State, but like just kind of talk about Nebraska, because they extended Frost for another year, right? I think it was for a year.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, that sounds right.
I've seen Ohio State fans kind of talk about how like, oh, we only won by 9 points, I think it was. But here's the thing, man. That's the most out of all their losses. I think that's the most that they've lost by. Nebraska, despite their record, is actually pretty fucking tough, man. Like a couple games, they could, those games they lost, they could easily have a couple more wins out of that, So, I think they're right there. I see why they've brought Frost back. They just got to turn that corner now. Maybe they can do that next year. But I think they're way tougher than what their record shows right now.
Yeah. I can agree with that. There's some things they need to fix. But they seem to be playing a lot better. And it's just, do they get it all together to make in the next couple of years to actually be a force in the Big Ten? That's the question. And it doesn't seem like they have quite got there, but they're definitely trending in the right direction so far this year, and they've been playing pretty well. But it's just they got to hit the recruiting circuit pretty hard.
Yeah.
Their defensive line is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Defensively they were solid. So add a few more pieces on offense, get a little bit more consistent quarterback play, and I think they're right there. But it's just one of those deals that you got to rely on your quarterback play, and you can't really do it defensively without having that complementary offensive piece in place. So it'll be an interesting, just kind of rebound for Nebraska going forward. So we'll see. I think Frost was supposed to be the coach that was the savior there, and it hasn't really panned out so far. But Puck, if Jim Harbaugh, or what's his name? Is it Jim or John? Which one's over in Michigan? I always get the two confused.
I think it's Jim.
I think it's Harbaugh. Jim. Yeah. If Jim can get a fucking pass at Michigan for 25 years, then I'm pretty sure Frost can get a pass at Nebraska. But
yeah, for sure.
Here we are. Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, I mean, I don't know if there's any more games you want to talk about, but actually, I want to bring this up. Let's go and look at. It's better not to reset it. Oh no, we're good. There's some beef here. So explain. Maybe you can explain this for people like me who don't really. The AP poll versus the coaches poll, right? So all the coaches have one where they vote what they think's the best teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the top 25, right? As of right now, Georgia looking like. I mean, Georgia and Alabama got to play soon, right? I think so. They're in the same side, aren't they? Or would that be SEC championship game?
It might be the championship game.
So we're gonna find out who the best is there. But Alabama, they had a close game, I think, this week. So like they're human right now.
Yeah.
Georgia's looking really tough. Cincinnati still looks really good. We're gonna find out, I think, how good they really are.
Well, they just played a close game against, what was it? Was it Tulsa or Tulane? It was one
Tulsa,
of those teams.
I think it was Tulsa.
Yeah.
But they're bumped up to 2. Oregon at 5 makes sense. Oklahoma, they've come close all year to dropping some games, but since that QB change, they've been all right. So down the stretch here towards the end of the season, these last 3 weeks, we're going to find out who makes that college football playoff. Looking this over right now, I mean, I'm cool with it. But I saw Joel Klatt complaining, which totally makes sense. You go to this college, the football pool, or the coaches pool. Let's see what they got. They got this kind of this does look a little. I mean, even being an Ohio State guy, Oregon did beat us, so technically, I would think that even though
you're right,
struggled a couple times, they should probably be ahead of us. But this right here, I mean, this is what Klatt was complaining about. Like, how do you put Michigan ahead of Michigan State when Michigan State literally beat them? Not only just beat them, came from behind 14-30 and beat you. I think you got to have Michigan State ahead of Michigan, right?
Agreed.
So, that's
if you flip flop those two, that's probably I'd flip flop those two for sure. So,
but yeah, coming down the stretch here, we're gonna see how this pans out, and hopefully, I mean, that's the crazy thing about this time of year. I mean, this can change week to week. It's gonna shift. So, that's where we're at with the college ball. God damn it, I probably shouldn't have went out of that, but I wanted to really quick see if we got any big games up this week. Let's see here. Look, hey, your University of Buffalo plays today, dude.
Yeah.
Or right now. They're getting killed.
Yes. Yeah, I saw updates. They were getting murdered. Yeah.
There must be no defense in this University of Akron, Western Michigan game. It's 45-40. Is this game over? He's over. Maybe
It might be. Yeah. I kept getting updates and stuff. I was just like
4, 5, 6. Why would they play so early though? Doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. It's the Mac, dude. Nobody pays attention to him, unfortunately.
Oh, because I'm on FBS. Hang on. I'm on. Wait a minute. What am I on? No, this is football. I thought this was fucking basketball for a second. All right. There's just games throughout the whole week. I mean, there's 3 games on tomorrow. But that's the MAC action. You feel me? They play during the week all the time.
A little Maction, baby. Let's go.
Let's see here. Let's go to Saturday. Saturday. What do we got? Oklahoma Baylor 8-13. I thought. Oh, wait a minute. Oklahoma's not 8, are they? What are they going by? I don't know. Anywho, I mean, other than that, dude, not really seeing. I mean, Purdue's ranked 19, so Purdue and Ohio State. Yeah, I don't really see anything too cray. Dude, have you heard about? I just saw him on here, so it's making me think about it. So I'm asking the question. This punter from fucking San Diego State.
Yeah, he's a baller.
Booming fucking 80-yard punts, apparently.
Yes, I have seen this dude. And Pat McAfee is
he's probably
in love with him.
Drooling all over him.
He goes from anytime this dude gets mentioned, it's like a instant 6 to midnight.
Oh yeah, Pat McAfee
on the pod.
Pat McAfee
for the brand.
Leave his wife for that guy.
Yeah, for the brand.
So, but yeah, that's looking like like I said, last 3 weeks college football, anything can happen. If you're just basing like top ranked teams playing each week to be the good game. I mean, there's going to be good games no matter what, even ranked teams. I'm sure there will be an upset. Yeah, we'll see how it plays out this week. But good segue into some NFL talk. Finally, let's get into some NFL news because there was a lot of it this week. I gotta tell you, man, Raiders can't catch a break. I
don't understand. Yeah,
it's like, yeah, I mean, these young players, man, I just don't know what goes through their heads. Like Ruggs' incident was kind of just like a bad decision. Like we talked about last week. You have some drinks, you're like, oh, I'm good, and you get behind the wheel. Whether we want to be on our high horse or not, a lot of us have probably drove a car intoxicated when we probably shouldn't have. And for everybody, sometimes bad things happen. You get caught. Sometimes you don't. You get away with it. In this case, he didn't. Worst case scenario. But then you got a guy like first round pick. What was his name from Ohio State?
David Arnett.
David Arnett. I mean, he just got cut. I mean, what did he have in his car? He had like a fuck ton of guns, didn't he?
Yeah, first off, he was waving guns and threatening to kill, like,
that's right.
His fans were talking shit, and he was like waving his guns on a webcam. Like it was, and some of the guns were illegally owned. Like it was just like a crazy, like
it's like
crazy shit. For real. Like nothing's that serious, bro. It's just hot.
Like,
but then they're forced to cut him because, like, we can't. Even Mike Mayock said it. He's like, we can't condone that type of stuff. Like that's just not
right.
But then you look at the Raiders. I saw something about their draft class, like what they've turned their draft picks into, and like Clelin Ferrell and all these guys, and it's like, dude, half the people they've drafted are gone off that team. And it's like it's terrible,
It's and that bad. I have to look into it. It's that bad.
Dude, it's really bad.
Like within the last how many years?
I'll see if I can find it. It's pretty terrible. What's pretty much like,
is that like from Mike Mayock's draft or before?
Raiders 2020 draft will go down as the worst in NFL history. Round 1, Henry Ruggs, prison. Round 1, Damon Arnett, cut. Lynn Bowden, traded. Brian Edwards, Tanner Muse, cut. John Simpson, backup. Amik Robinson, benched. Like, pretty much their 2020 draft class is just like has not panned out.
Holy shit. That's not
Yep.
good. You would think after seeing all those years of Mike Mayock, like doing talent on NFL Network and stuff, you would think that would not be the case. You would think that he would pick like the best dudes. So that's insane. But yeah, Raiders just seem to each week, man, they just seem they can't catch a break. You had the Gruden shit, and you had the Ruggs stuff, and now you have this, so.
Well, they did sign Deshaun Jackson, so at least they got that going for them.
I mean, I guess so. Yeah. I mean, they were one of the teams that they thought would maybe get OBJ, but not anymore. We'll talk about OBJ in a second here. Another fucked up situation that we need more context and detail on. Apparently, we got another NFL athlete beating the shit out of women. I mean, apparently Dalvin Cook from Minnesota Vikings. There's a girl claiming that he beat her, and there's pictures of her face and stuff. But then I kind of read that his attorney and everybody are basically saying he's set up. So I don't know. We're going to find out more info. I don't know. Did you read more info onto that? Like,
I saw Dalvin Cook released it first or his attorneys or somebody released it for him on his behalf. That the lady that is claiming, domestic violence,
right? She lives like,
well, she was like military and like, somehow acquired a stolen garage door opener and forcibly entered his house and was like abusive to him and held a couple people at gunpoint in his house or had a gun on her and was like so it was like this big deal, right?
Yeah.
And then she turned around and claimed that he was the one that actually physically assaulted her and posted the pictures of her literally with her face was just it was bad. So this is going to play out and it's going to be interesting to watch. It's at this point, Dalvin Cook and his team got a jump on trying to control the story. New information came out. It's hard to say what exactly is going on, but as of right now, the NFL is saying we don't really know. We don't have enough information. It's a civil case. We got to let the process play out there. And, they're going to go by we don't have enough to say this guy shouldn't be playing football at this point in time. Right. So, I don't foresee any suspensions or any issues from that side of it until some of the civil side gets sorted out. I mean, shit, if Deshaun Watson decided he wanted to play for Houston right now, he'd be allowed to. So, it's kind of how the NFL says we'll wait for the process to play out. We'll gather our own information and do our own investigation. But, right now we're just going to kind of let that all play out. So it's, that's kind of where we're at in the situation. It would be a damn shame if, I forget what the lady's name, but if what she said is actually true, damn shame that was the case. And obviously at that point, Dalvin Cook deserves any punishment that he gets. If the inverse is true, where she was holding him at gunpoint, or whatever the case was, I forget. It was she either was holding a hostage with a gun or something like that. So, we'll have to see how that process plays out. But if the flip side of it's true, and that was the case for her, then obviously she deserves the punishment she gets too. So, we kind of have to monitor the situation for sure.
Well, that's a pretty wild one. So I didn't hear about her breaking into the house and shit. So we'll see what comes out.
It was the first thing I saw it pop up that Dalvin Cook was involved in a domestic incident, and I looked, and it was literally him saying, here's what happened, here's the incident report that was filed, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh fuck, I thought he was the one that did it, but it was actually what he's saying was her. And then she turned around and said, hey, here's this, and posted the messages and the pictures that were filed with the court, with her conversation with Dalvin Cook. And it's just like, holy shit, dude. Like, I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
Maybe they're both at fault. I don't know. But
maybe they're into some weird shit. Maybe this is some really kinky like role play shit. I don't know. Maybe
I don't know, man. The pictures I saw were bad.
Yeah.
So
she definitely got that bad. So
man, I don't. It's it'll be something to monitor how it plays out. So,
well,
be a huge blow. It'd be a huge blow for the Vikings.
Yeah,
to lose him.
It would.
if he deserves the punishment, then I mean, fuck it. Football doesn't matter that much. You know what I mean? Like in the grand scheme of things, if he actually did that stuff, then yeah, he deserves his punishment for sure.
Yeah, well, I'm sure next week we'll have some more info on that. Look at and because looking at each week, week to week, a lot of information changes, things happen. And one thing in this past week, you know, I went on a rant about it. I was obviously emotionally invested and a little pissed off with the Browns too. So, again, I said maybe it was an overreaction. But OBJ is officially off the waiver wire and is a free agent. He has not signed with the team yet, unless he's done that since we've been on this recording this right now. I don't think he has.
I have not seen anything, no.
It's interesting. The Browns did the opposite of what I thought they were going to do going into Cincinnati. It's it's good. They needed that win. They got that win, and the offense was able to produce finally. And throughout the week, I watched probably every video you could possibly imagine on. Dan Orlovsky was good to watch because he can break down some things, and he's always been kind of a supporter for not only Baker but the Browns too. And I did mention in my little rant that it could be a system thing with Stefanski's system, and it's looking like that's maybe what it was. From what we're hearing is when Orlovsky was breaking down what Baker's supposed to do with certain reads, and it looks like that offense is predicated on a receiver being in a certain spot at a certain time, and that's where the ball gets thrown to. So if OBJ is running shitty routes or running his own routes, kind of, mixed in with that and expecting to get the ball being wide open, that's not how the system works. So, and obviously you see Donald's People-Jones have a big score. You've seen 8 different receivers catch passes from Baker. So it does make you want, maybe that's why it never worked out and Baker's playing better without him. Maybe it is the system and the system is done right with the right players over one all-star player. So we'll see how this keeps going in the upcoming second half of the season. But if the Browns can continue to do what they did against Cincy, then I think they'll be fine. It actually turned out into a blessing, right now, at least for the Browns. They were able to take some of that money that they saved releasing OBJ and put it towards that beefy offensive line, give it to the Hogs. You feel me? Teller gets extended. And who else did they give? They gave
Joel Bitonio also.
They gave Bitonio. So Teller they have until 2025, and Bitonio, I didn't read the details, but I think they have him anyway till 2023, 22. I can't remember. So it worked out. Hopefully the Browns can go into the Patriots, which I know you'll be a Browns fan this week.
Yes.
Hopefully they beat the shit out of Patriots, because the Patriots have actually been playing pretty well. Are they second in your division right now?
Yes, they're half a game behind the Bills currently.
Only half a game. That's fucking crazy.
That's crazy.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. But yeah, so the 3 teams that supposedly OBJ is rumored to go to is either the Chiefs, shocker, go figure, Green Bay, or the Saints. Now, me personally, I think I said last week, I do wish OBJ well. Hopefully he could return back to his older status, even though he's getting older now. I still think he's got some in the tank in the right system. I think him in Green Bay, I'd like to kind of see. I feel like Aaron Rodgers could be the guy that gets him the ball if he does run those kind of routes where he does his own thing. I don't know that system. It's different than Stefanski's. I know Aaron, they throw a lot. I think it'd be nice. The Chiefs, he'd probably fit that system really well with everybody, but I don't think it'd be weird if the Chiefs did that, right? Because clearly offense, they haven't been scoring too many points. Their defense is pretty bad, but Mahomes hasn't been Mahomes, I guess you could say. Who'd they barely beat? What was that? I was gonna text you.
They just They just played the Giants.
Yeah. So like,
Yeah.
I saw your boy Nick Wright fucking, oh, I was never worried and just going on. I'm like, dude, like that wasn't something to be proud of. Like the Giants almost beat them, and like they were at home, I think. And what was, I forget what the final score was, but they didn't put up that many points. So it's like I wouldn't get too excited there, Nick. Right? Your Kansas City is still fucking sucking. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. And then I've heard the Saints, but that doesn't make sense to me. I mean, where do you think OBJ ends up?
Well, I see that the Patriots are trying to make a big push too. So it is very possible that he ends up there,
See, I've heard that too, but like, I feel like that's similar than with the Browns, right? Like you got this rookie quarterback and he's not, I mean, he's dinking and dunking, you know what I mean? Like he's not really fucking letting it rip. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't you think that system would also be more similar to the Brown system?
Yeah, well, I mean, they're predicated on it's Earhart Perkins, so it's you have concepts and the routes depend on what kind of coverage dictation and just some of the in the general scheme of things. Like one play could have 3 or 4 different route concepts with checks and things like that in place. So it's kind of a more in-depth system, but he could probably fit in that system for sure. I mean, it's an upgrade over what they have there, absolutely. But
yeah, because what's his face was kind
I
of.
mean, if you had the choice to play with Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, or Mac Jones, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
That's why I don't think the Saints really have a good.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Because I mean, you're gonna want to play with Trevor Simeon, you know what I mean? Like
Trevor Seaman.
I would think. Yeah, I would think that. I think that the Packers are only doing like a vet minimum. So it just depends. Like, do you want to get paid or do you want to, join a team and give us a chance to win? And they don't want to pay Odell because they haven't even offered Devontae Adams a contract extension yet. So, it's just one of those deals. It's like, I very well, if the Patriots are going to spend money and offer him like a $10 million contract to go play for him, like he's probably going to play for the Patriots. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
So, but speaking of Mahomes, I forgot they played the Packers last week. And
that's right. They almost
it was the Packers.
But
they barely beat the
Jordan
Giants
Love
the week before.
Yeah, but like Jordan Love, like even in that game, like at first I thought he was just fucking garbage, but then they did bring up a good point. They're like, dude, he's been in the league for how many, like he just hasn't played a lot of football, you know what I mean? So he looked really bad there in the beginning of the game, and then he got that late touchdown.
Yep.
So, we'll I don't know. I mean, he's probably gonna be playing this week, I'd imagine. I don't know if Rodgers is back or not. But yeah, like I just wouldn't be too excited with the Chiefs right now, because if Aaron Rodgers plays in that game, I mean, I think they get their ass whooped. So yeah, man, there's a problem in Kansas City and it's still not fixed. What do you make of like the whole like free Odell movement?
I don't know, man. I think it's just players trying to support support one of their boys.
I brought it up
honestly.
I brought it up before the show.
Oh yeah, let it out.
I brought it up before the show about how, it's a weird movement, and I saw this on one of those shows, and I kind of agree, because you think about other receivers who are on bad teams who, Allen Robinson basically wasted his career in Chicago under Nagy, and then I don't know, you can make the argument with DJ Moore. You could say right now in Washington, McLaurin. Do I say his name right? I feel like I said.
Yeah, you're good.
McLaurin.
Yeah.
He's balling out with no matter who's under center, but the team usually isn't that good. So there's other receivers in worse situations. I mean, the Browns, like free, you're talking about freeing Odell, and it's like, I mean, okay, he didn't get a bunch of targets a game, but Browns were in a game from the Super Bowl last year, and are still winning games. So it's like what are you talking about? But yeah, it's just kind of funny. But with all of this, I feel like it puts more pressure on Odell, because it's like, hey man, you're freed, so whatever team you go to, you better ball out, because if not, I don't tell you. So, but it's interesting. Speaking of the Packers and Aaron Rodgers, what's your thought? I mean, he got shit on a lot over the last week, or more people were just saying he lied about being vaccinated, which he didn't never say he was vaccinated. He say he was immunized. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, I think you got it.
I
I'll
don't know if
struggle
I
with
got
that too,
that.
bro. I don't even want to
Fuck.
try to correct you because I know I'll struggle.
I can't say it.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you? I wanted to kind of stick up for him.
I mean, had they been following protocols, he can say whatever the hell he wants to say in the media, but had they been actually following protocols and stuff, then whatever. But him kind of, it's an era of there's a lot of misinformation on certain topics that get floated out, and people that perpetuate that people perceive as misinformation or not, or to truly believe, to me, his biggest fault was not following protocols. Like, believe what you want, man. It is what it is. People are going to take measures to protect themselves and get the vaccine and trust, in the science behind it. And kind of follow suit for stuff that's happened historically in medicine. Others are going to want to, wait and, kind of vet the process a little bit, so to speak. Like, hey, I want to make sure that this is actually going to benefit me, and I'm not going to see any negative effects to it. So, typically, it is true. Typically with vaccinations, a lot of times those go through a 5-year process of, making sure that there aren't any crazy side effects. Now, he claims he was allergic to a couple of the ingredients in a couple of the vaccines. Okay, that's fine. That happens, that's a thing. However, he had alternate options, and, it's up to him. It really is. I don't care what anybody says. Like, you're not going to force somebody to put something in their body if they don't want to, and it's one of those moral debates that will rage on forever, whether you're talking about what people do with their bodies when it comes to, abortion or vaccines or whatever it is. It's just, there's always going to be a debate on it, whether you fall on one side or the other. You're not going to convince the people that believe the other side, it's just gonna be like, hey, I believe my side's right, you believe your side's right, and that's where we're at. It is what it is. In a pandemic, where this virus has, obviously caused a lot of problems, some people are going to want to take every measure possible to protect themselves. Do so. Some people are just gonna be like, I'll take my chances. If I die, I die. So be it. To each their own in that regard. You're not going to force people to believe everything that you wanted to, and unfortunately, you're not going to force people to believe in science, because science is unfortunately not infallible, regardless of what you look at. So, it is what it is. But I think the biggest fault for Aaron Rodgers is he just, regardless of what he said, whether he was vaccinated or not, if the Packers and him knew he wasn't vaccinated, like, just follow the protocols, man. That's all you got to do. You can put a farce on for the media, or you clown your dog and pony show all you want, like, whatever, but just abide by the rules that are put in place. Had you done that, I don't think this is as big of an issue. But I think people are making it out to be, a pretty big deal. And, the NFL kind of cracked down on them and thought that, here you go. Here's the deal. If you continue to not follow protocols here, you're going to get an even bigger punishment. So, you look at it too, though, I'm kind of wrap up my thought here, but there was a player from Minnesota that got put in the ER. He tested positive for COVID, had a really bad time, and now he's in the hospital. So, it's stuff like that. That's like, well, if Aaron Rodgers didn't perpetuate like weird, like just conspiracy theories or whatever you want to call them, maybe that helps other players. Like, you set an example for other players. But this guy that was in the hospital for Minnesota is vaccinated. So, you know, like it is what it is. Like the shit still can, you know, like the shit still can cause problems regardless of if you're vaccinated or not. But
right.
you know,
And that's what I was going to bring up because the media was just going so hard on him. And it's like, I think I think the media and everybody going crazy is exactly the point he was trying to make and why he didn't say anything, because he knew like say this in the beginning of the season, like it's going to be, that's all the media would fucking talk about and probably just keep giving them shit and wouldn't shut up. And like now that he just happened to get it or test positive, the media just jumped on it and like they're fucking shitting on him as he predicted that they would. So he's kind of proven their point. And then that's another thing I didn't hear about the Minnesota player, but with the Browns, I don't know if you heard, but Nick Chubb and Felton both tested positive for COVID and are both vaccinated. But I can't remember if it was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar that went in or somebody went. I think he did go in on Rodgers, but they were saying like, I mean, all the media, sports media has been saying it, like he's putting people at risk and all this shit. And it's like, look, man, we're having vaccinated players test positive too. You know what I mean? So like, putting who at risk? People want to act like the game of football itself. Like we're just talking about safety and you're talking about risks. I mean, these players risk their fucking lives to play this game. Like it's the reason why everybody fucking has jobs, or it's the reason why we do this we wouldn't even have this podcast if it wasn't for some of these players, right? So like, I can tell you I don't know how many players have died from CTE right now, because that's kind of a new thing that we're kind of figuring out. But just like injuries, CTE, like all that stuff that a lot of these players have or are gonna have, it's like, I mean, you want to talk safety. I mean, like we can go down that road, you know what I mean? Of what the players are like. We've already talked about pain meds that they allow them to give, you know what I mean? So like it's a messy thing, but I did want to stick up for him a little bit in regards to that kind of stuff, because it is kind of crazy. Because I mean, we haven't had how many active players? I don't know about staffing, but if you just do some quick math here, I mean, you got 53-man rosters. I mean, that's almost 1,700 players. And then, I mean, we've had players get it and some have had it worse than others, but we haven't had a death yet, I don't believe. We would have heard about it. Same thing with coaches. So like, you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just crazy. Hopefully that shit, but you know what's cool about Rodgers is he openly came on. I don't know if you've listened to him, but McAfee show and stuff, and because they talk every Tuesday, and it's pretty. I don't know. I think it's interesting, and like you heard his side in full length, which is fair. Like he should be able to kind of talk about it, But yeah, man. Hopefully this whole divide shit fucking disappears. It's fucking annoying, just in general.
Yeah. It is. It's just crazy, man. Like, the reality is that, we're gonna work through this, and eventually either you're gonna get immune to it and, kind of, naturally work your way out of it, or, anybody that is taking the precautions to, try to protect themselves are going to ultimately, be better off for it. But, you can't. This was just one of those deals. It's always one of those ethical debates. You know what I mean? You're always going to have that debate on, should you tell me what I need to put in my body when it comes to public health and things? And like everybody has a different opinion on it. It's just going to be one of those, ethics debates that go on for all time. Like it is what it is. People are going to have different opinions on it. So,
do you think Rodgers? Because I think next year there's something in his contract where like he wouldn't have to pay as much money if he didn't play. Because I think he's still under contract, but there's something that changes going into next season. Do you think that he'll stay with the Packers after the next year, or you think he'll go somewhere else?
I think it'll probably be his first choice, but I could absolutely see him going elsewhere, depending on how things play out in the off season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether some of this COVID stuff like drastically affects the relationship between him and the Packers, but as of now, I would think, sure.
Yeah. I'm interested too. I don't know where he would go, but I definitely think a handful of teams would fucking jump on him for sure. So hopefully not the Steelers. Well, before we get into pick'ems here, I think we finally reached that point. I mean, we had some teams fucking choke big time over the weekend. The Cowboys just offense decided they weren't going to show up to play at all. I don't think anybody saw Was it Denver? I think it was Denver. Yeah, it was Denver. Beat the shit out of the Cowboys. I sure as hell did not pick Denver to win that game. And then obviously I briefly touched on the Titans and the Rams. The Rams fell apart when they played the Cardinals, and they just Stafford kind of looked like shit in that game against the Titans. I would say I'd definitely put that one on Stafford's shoulders for sure. But as surprising as those were, I don't think anyone was I don't think any of them was as surprising as the Bills Jacksonville game. And I've been telling everybody this. I'm like, it'd be one thing if the Bills lost like 27-30, but 6-9, dude. I know some time has passed and you calmed down a little bit, but what was going through your brain during that game?
So watching this game was I think my most uttered phrase throughout the entire game was "what the fuck." Is literally what I kept saying. Like it was the literal perfect storm of cluster fuckery that could have possibly happened with the Bills offense. Between blown blocking assignments, between bad checks into plays that you have a light box and you should be running the football and you decide to do some dumb shit. People were bitching about.
I saw that still photo. It was like showing that. It was showing the box, and they're like, why are you not just running the
a 5-person box on 2nd and 7, and you decide you're going to continue to not make the check. But then again, that stems from the fact that they haven't been able to run the ball very well against light boxes this year. It was just a culmination of just like the Jags had a decent game plan. They had a pretty good game plan. The fucking offensive line played very inconsistent. Josh Allen played like dog shit for the most of the game.
Didn't he have he gave up he threw a pick. He had a fumble, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a fumble. He got sacked. He threw an interception and had a fumble. Or threw 2 interceptions and had a fumble. The first interception, I don't even know what the fuck he was looking at. He threw it into double coverage. It was like an 8-yard pass, but it was like into double coverage, right, to Cole Beasley. It's like, what are you doing, man? There were so many opportunities, and then you finally get into a rhythm and you get like 3 big drops on a drive. It's like, what the fuck? I was just watching it going like, these guys just did not look ready to play whatsoever. I don't know if it was the competition and they were just like, we've got this in the bag. If it was, I don't know what it was. There was no energy. It was, they had plays to be made, and you count on at least once everybody doing their job, at least for a play. But
Yeah.
It seemed like every play that was run offensively, 1 or 2 people fucked up somewhere along the way. Whether it was the quarterback, whether it was the offensive line, whether it was, just mistake after mistake after mistake. Penalties fucking killed them. They played undisciplined. It was just a clusterfuck. Like in the NFL, if you hold a team to 9 points, you should win that game 100 times out of 100. Yeah. Like there should be no fucking reason why you can't score more than 9 points. You're a team that averages 30-some points a game. Like you only score 6 points against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, it was just, dude, I rewatched the game in the all 22 on it, and it's just like, it's mind boggling. They could not put together a drive. It doesn't hurt that 2 of their starting offensive linemen were out. Okay, whatever. You next man up. Like that's not an excuse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Critical drops and critical penalties in situations where it's like, I don't think the Jacksonville Jaguars got called for 1 false start when there was like 4 or 5 like clear false start penalties. And then, the left guard on the Bills, like fucking, it looks like he was trying to squeeze out a fart. You know what I mean? Like his like butt cheeks clenched like slightly, and they call false start on him. Like it's, you know, it was a false start. Don't get me wrong, but it's like shit like that, you know. And to me, it just all culminated into a big. That's why they couldn't score any fucking points, man. I don't know. I think I saw some of the practice notes today. Very serious, very business-like. I think they just needed a swift kick in the ass, bro. Like I think maybe this game was the game that did it. You know, Miami, they ended up winning, and maybe they just took it for a grain of salt. But like, I think they needed a swift kick in the ass. So like last year, they were the bullies offensively. They fucking pushed people around. They were physical. They had fun, but they were the aggressors. And like in this game, it wasn't the case. So maybe this lights a fire under them. I don't know. They need it because they really needed to fucking, you know, play aggressive. They need to execute their assignments. They need to take the shit seriously. And it just didn't look like they did in Jacksonville. So maybe this really gets them going. Like I want to see them just fucking come out and just no mercy with the Jets this week. That's what they need to do. You know, and they really need to step their shit up, and leadership needs to get their shit together. The defense is playing great. I got nothing on the defense. The defense has been fucking phenomenal all year.
Yeah.
But the offense really needs to get their shit together and like show that they want to fucking win football games and want to, you know, actually go out and fucking execute their assignments. Because right now, it didn't look like that at all against Jacksonville. I mean, how the fuck do you lose to Urban? I'm gonna, you know, fuck around with some college girls in a bar Meyer out here. Like come on. Like you got to be better than that. You got to be better than that. No reason why they shouldn't have won that game.
They were all. I bet you the Jaguars. I bet the whole team was fingering assholes after that win.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I don't know. It's crazy, man. NFL week to week.
It is the NFL, and it's a week to week league. I get it, but that's one where it's just like, dude, and the national media is shitting on the Bills, and you know what? Fucking lay it on them, bro. That's what they need. That's what they need. They need, you know, they need to fucking have a fire lit under the ass because otherwise,
you know, it's crazy because like, you know, a couple weeks ago, everybody's like, "Hey, man, Bills are the best team in the AFC," you know, hands down. And then the 1 week you drop one to a bad team, and you know, I mean, I was there last week. We thought the season was over with Cleveland, you know. And it still very could be, but I mean, obviously there's a lot of football to play. So, but yeah, dude, it's great. It's the emotional roller coaster of a season. I can tell you that.
Yep.
But you know, new week, new opportunity to turn things around, and new opportunity to try and bring back this, you know, for me anyway, to get back to, you know, even up this pick'em down 3-5 or 5-3. You know, I need to get 2 more wins, 2 in a row. I've done 3 in a row. Got to get 2 in a row. Bring this thing back. So, week 10, starting off tomorrow because today's Wednesday. Recording this on Wednesday. We got the Ravens versus Miami.
Baltimore.
These Thursday night games have been fucking crazy. Let me tell you something. I know Baltimore's still good, but like they should have lost that fucking game this week. They are so good at playing from behind for whatever reason. I don't know what that means coming down the stretch of the end of the season, but like I feel like the Ravens are definitely beatable. But it's really hard for me to pick Miami, dude. It's really fucking hard. So I think I'm going to go Ravens as well. Atlanta versus Dallas.
I think Dallas bounces back this week. I'm going Dallas.
I think they should too. I don't even know what the fuck what did I write? I can't read my writing. Titans are playing somebody. Does that say Giants?
Tennessee at New Orleans.
Oh, it says Saints. That did not look like Saints.
Or New Orleans at Tennessee, my bad.
Yeah.
So New Orleans was the away team.
New Orleans kind of laid an egg this week. It's still Simeon at quarterback, right? However, this is one of those games, man. I know the Titans fucking came out and they did they beat the Rams, but I don't think they can maintain it without Derrick Henry, dude.
Agreed.
I think
That's why I'm
going Saints.
I went Saints as well in this one.
Yeah.
I'm picking Cleveland. I got Cleveland at New England. I'm picking Cleveland, by the way, because I need them to win. So that's more or less I know Nick Chubb's fucking out. I know but I need you guys to fucking win. So
Chubb's not. He technically has to pass he has to come back positive. There's still a chance he could play. But they still have the Ernest Johnson right there. So
Ernest saves Cleveland, buddy.
So
Ernest saves Cleveland.
But Jacksonville versus the Colts.
I think the Colts are turning on at the right time. I like the Colts in this one too.
I think so. Next one would be Browns Patriots. I'm taking Browns as well. Patriots have been on a run, but I don't think I quite buy it, if that makes sense.
I don't know, man. They're a good team. They've been figuring it out. So,
but we'll see. Buffalo and the Jets. You guys better not fucking lose to the Jets, dude.
I'm picking the Jets, bro. You already know.
I'm still going Buffalo.
Detroit,
Pittsburgh.
Again, I don't fucking know, dude.
Listen, I don't see the fact you said I don't know. This is so that if you guys are betting, right? I'd said earlier, I'm probably going to take one of the I don't know what kind of parlay. What do I want to call it? The upset parlay, right? This is one where I'm thinking about taking Detroit because, dude, the Patriots keep winning, or Pittsburgh keeps winning. What are they, 5-3 now? But like, I still don't think they're that good of a team, right? So for them to lose to Detroit and give Detroit their first win, I can kind of see it happening. Should it happen? No, but after seeing the past 2 weeks.
I've been saying that Pittsburgh's not that good, but yet they're 5-3. You are what your record says you are. And that's just like they find fucking ways to do it. I don't know however it is.
They were fucking undefeated till week 11 last year. We all knew that they weren't like.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm still going Pittsburgh in this one. But again, I have no fucking clue. This one could be one of those that, you know, you do an upset parlay and it ends up paying out for you. So, but I'm still going to pick Pittsburgh.
Oh shit, dude, I'm an idiot. I've been circling these games, but I think we haven't picked any different games, right? Besides, Browns.
Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo and no, Buffalo's the only different one we picked.
And Detroit, Pittsburgh, right? We picked Detroit to win.
I'm taking Detroit.
Okay, so we got 2.
All right.
Tampa, Washington.
Tampa, Washington. Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I'm going Tampa as well.
Okay. And then we got Carolina Cardinals.
Arizona. Yeah, I'm going to go Arizona. They're definitely the better team.
Yeah, I agree. Especially that they can fucking win.
Sam Darnold probably won't play. PJ Walker's going to play. It's just, yeah.
We're finally, I haven't seen it, what Colin Cowherd said, but like, there's no way he can stick up for Darnold anymore, dude.
No, I agree.
Like the interceptions he threw in college, he throws in the NFL. It's just as bad or worse. It's just not good.
Yeah.
Vikings Chargers, good game.
This should be a good game.
The Chargers kind of like have like evened out since that Browns game. This one's tough.
I'm still going to go LA because they're the home team, but I mean, usually that doesn't make a difference for.
Technically, Cook's playing, right? He's not out, like you said earlier. Like
no, he's playing. He's playing. He's playing. So, this one will be an interesting game. I'm going to go Chargers, but I'm very hesitant to go Chargers.
I'm looking at the next few games, debating on you know what? I'll take Vikings. Fuck it.
Okay. This next one, I'm taking Philadelphia. So.
All right.
Philly at Denver. So if that makes your.
I'll take Denver.
Okay.
Seattle versus Green Bay. Interesting matchup. Russell Wilson is back.
Yep.
I believe.
I'm still going to go Green Bay, assuming Aaron Rodgers plays. If Aaron Rodgers does not play, I'm taking Seattle, but we don't know yet.
Yeah, they haven't said shit.
So that's the unfortunate thing. Like as of right now, if it's Jordan Love that's playing, I'm taking Seattle. If it's Aaron Rodgers that's playing, I'm taking Green Bay.
I'll go Green Bay. I need to know that information though for my parlay. So hopefully they fucking release that soon.
When do you have to bet that?
No, I could right before the game starts, essentially.
Okay, so yeah, you'll be fine.
I'll do it by fine. Saturday. It's probably Saturday.
Yeah, you'll be fine. What about Kansas City at Vegas?
Dude, Raiders seem to always have a thing for Kansas City. They always tend to beat them. And as vulnerable as Kansas City is right now, and despite what's going on with the Raiders, I think I'm going to take Raiders.
Interesting. I'm still going to go Kansas City this week.
All righty.
Although I don't necessarily know that I trust them.
Yeah. I mean, the Raiders should be able to score on their defense. That's for sure. And Kansas City hasn't put up a ton of points lately, so we'll see. Raiders, 49ers.
Yeah. Rams, 49ers. I'm going to say the Rams bounce back.
Yeah, I think so too. I can't pick the 49ers ever again because they fucking suck. They piss me off.
Points.
It makes you think if Shanahan's going to be on the hot seat, dude.
Could be.
It's a lot of home games to fucking lose, especially after that Super Bowl
Yeah, it was 4 years ago? 3 years ago?
Yeah. Wait, they weren't in the Super Bowl. They were game out, right?
No, they were in the Super Bowl. It was before they drafted Nick Bosa. They were in the Super Bowl. I think, right?
Not with Kaepernick? You're not talking about that.
No. They made it with Jimmy G.
That's right. God damn.
I just forget
That's right, because they bounced back. I forget what year it was. Yeah. I forget who they played.
Yep. They played the Patriots, bro.
That's right. And it wasn't even a game, right?
I
think Patriots pretty much down.
It was a decent game. I distinctly remember Jimmy G overthrowing Emmanuel Sanders in that game.
Yeah.
Like for a should have been touchdown. So
we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games.
Different games.
So points doesn't technically matter.
But I'm still going to go 51 points.
Well, unless you hit me up and you change, the Seattle thing.
Yeah. But I'm assuming you're going to change that too, though, if Green Bay has Aaron Rodgers.
Or wait.
Or you're not.
Wait.
I picked Green Bay.
Yeah.
And you picked Green Bay.
I'm going to stick with Green Bay regardless.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're going 51. I'm going. Man, it's a lot for these fucking two teams. I'm going to go 48. Cool. See if I can get back on the winning side.
Yes, sir.
Dude, I was telling my friend this today about, how we do these pick'ems, and I was giving the rundown about the beers and everything, and I told him, he's like, well, will you drink for the Browns make playoffs again? And I'm like, well, I might, maybe have some few, watch the game, whatever. I was like, and I told him, I'm like, however, if the Bills and the Browns play each other in the playoff game, it's going to be a shitty, because we're going to probably do another live stream playing Power Hour.
We're doing the playoff Power Hour, bro. It's going to happen.
So, but imagine a Bills Browns one.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be, it's going to be crazy. Yeah. It's going to be a crazy one.
That'd be fun.
And he's like, what's Power Hour? You'd never heard of it. I'm like, dude, it's, I was like, it doesn't sound like a lot when you explain it. I was like, but when you're in it, you get full and you drink a lot of beers within an hour. So
yes.
And that clock that clock crazy. Fucking moves, So
yep.
But yeah, definitely. I can't wait for that, dude. That's gonna be fun. Yeah, man. You're going out of town, eh?
Yeah, heading to Baltimore tomorrow.
Speaking of, I was gonna say Ravens play Thursday night. You're gonna be in it.
Yeah,
are you
Oh, yeah.
guys? I mean, are you guys are setting up tomorrow, or so will you guys
Yeah,
go?
we're driving in and setting up tomorrow.
So will you guys be able to branch off around game time and go somewhere and eat and?
Yeah. We'll be out and about. So
I mean, it sounds like you guys like to drink anyway, so it'll be interesting. I don't know if you guys do that on day one, but
probably.
Yeah.
Honestly, we probably will.
Yeah. So that'll be funny. Keep me updated on that. Let fucking TikTok it, dude. Let's see what Baltimore's like tomorrow on Thursday night.
We'll TikTok it. We'll see what the atmosphere is like out there.
Yeah, dude. I bet it's
we'll be in it. We'll be in it.
That'll be cool, dude. TikTok, you can follow us at AJXO Pod. Same thing with Twitter. Did that poll last week. I'll try and throw some more shit up, whatever comes to mind. Personally, you can follow me at Justin_Maxim.
Y'all can follow me at BillsFan53, and that's B1 number 1 LLS Fan53. So definitely give us a follow.
Yep. And we post some content. Check it out. And man. Looking forward to another week, and hopefully I can win some money on these parlays. Maybe I'll share them in a TikTok on my picks, and then we'll see if I hit it. So, be sure to follow. Be sure to comment. Let's get some feedback, dude. Tell us some things you want to hear. That'd be dope. So that'll do it for us today. Until next week, y'all be sweet.